In this video, we're going to learn how to navigate the HMI menus. We're going to go through each individual section and determine how to use each individual menu screen. Place the operator station main power switch in the on position to activate your HMI screen. So we're going to flip this in the on position. With the main power switch in the on position, electric power should immediately be applied to the system. You should see the HMI panel boot up and enter a splash screen as it initializes. Wait for the operator screen to complete the startup procedure. Once complete, the HMI screen will be replaced with the main menu screen. The main menu screen contains 7 buttons that navigate the system's major application screens. From the main menu, we're going to press the Operations button. The operations screen should open, and we're going to see that the operations screen is the central control panel of this system. It features the following controls and indicators that are used to operate and monitor the system. First thing we're going to look at is the ready indicator. If the ready indicator light is on, all of the start conditions are met and the system is ready for operation. The stop push button, when this button is pressed while in automatic mode, the system will complete all steps of its current sequence and halt. This is a cycle stop function. The automatic sequence is resumed by pressing the start button. So if the system's running, we can hit the start sequence and we can hit the stop while it's running, and it'll complete the cycle and we will halt its operation. The in cycle indicator right here, when this indicator is on and holding steady, the system is performing an automatic sequence. This light blinks to indicate that the sequence is paused, which can be triggered by the pause button or a fault. This light also blinks between sequence steps while running in manual mode. Start push button. When this button is pressed, the system will begin or resume its sequence in automatic mode or perform a single step in manual mode. So here's our start button. We can press this, and if there's no active alarms and all the requirements are met, it will start the sequence. The pause push button. When this button is pressed, the system will complete the current step of its sequence and pause. The sequence is resumed by pressing the start push button again. So we can press this and it will pause the sequence. The reset push button, when this button is pressed, the system will return the actuators to their starting position immediately. For safety reasons, this function cannot be activated unless the machine is completely stopped. So we can press this and it will return all actuators to its start position. Single/multi selector switch. This switch determines if the system will complete one cycle single or run continuously multi after the start button is pressed. This switch only affects automatic mode. So we can say single or multi. Manual/auto selector switch. This switch determines if one press of the start push button will perform a single step of the sequence manual or the entire sequence auto. So here we're in auto, and there's manual. Home returns to the display screen to the main menu. Back returns the display to the previous screen. So once again, it'll take us back to the main menu for this one. Cycle time displays the cycle time screen. This button allows you to go to this screen without going back to the main menu. So it's basically a shortcut. And the back will bring us back to the operations screen. Active alarms. When an active alarm occurs, this button will flash a fault, active. And we can actually touch this also, and it will take us to any of the active alarms or alarms history. Next is our production totals. Displays the production total screen. This button allows you to go to this screen without going back to the main menu. The next function we're going to look at is the cycle time program screen. So from the main menu, we're going to press cycle time. The cycle time screen monitors the length of time required to complete its sequence one time or one cycle. It shows how long the current cycle has been running, the length of time for the last cycle to complete, and calculates the average time of all cycles performed since the machine was last powered up or reset. So the first thing we're going to look at is the start push button on this. So the start push button acts just like the start push button on the previous screen, where it actually starts the machine. The reset average push button will change your last cycle time and your average time. So we can hit this and it would reset those. These are already reset to 5 seconds. So we're going to actually watch this. We're going to hit the start screen or the start button, and we're going to watch our cycle time. All right, so now that we have some numbers changed, we can see that our average cycle time is 3.8 seconds. Last cycle time was 5 seconds, and that's because it actually timed out and shows us an active alarm where it basically says that our part chute is empty. So we can see that our average cycle time is 3.8 seconds. Now this can be used for a couple of things. It can actually be used to calculate the amount of time it's going to take for us to do a particular number of components on any particular run. The next thing we're going to look at is production totals. So we're going to navigate from our main menu, find production statistics, and we're going to press the production statistics, which shows the production total screen. The production total screen monitors the results of the machine program cycles. It shows the number of parts that have been rejected or processed, as well as the number of each part material, metal or acrylic, processed. The production total screen features the following controls to operate and monitor the system. Once again, we've got that start button. So we can push the start button. And once the start button, or basically once the system completes, it basically shows you updated totals. So we had our good totals and bad totals, what units were metal, which ones were acrylic, and we can reset that by hitting the clear count. So once we hit this, it will actually reset everything on the screen. This screen also shows the active alarms. So if we have an active alarm, we can go to that and see what's going on. Once again, it looks like our part chute's empty on this. And we can go back to that screen. And now we've reset it, and we can go to the maintenance statistics. So the maintenance statistics will show you, total number of faults, total number of parts, and multiple other things, the number of moves. The next function we're going to look at from the main menu is the alarms. Pressing the alarms, it's going to bring up the active alarms screen. Anything that's active or has an alarm issue, if the system is not operating, we can come to this screen and it's going to tell us what's going on. The next feature we're going to look at is the maintenance statistics. We can also note in this particular image that we've actually have an active fault. So our alarms button is flashing yellow. So our next screen, we're showing our maintenance statistics faults. So it'll tell us the total number of faults count that we've accumulated, the number of parts that have been run, and numerous other pieces of information that we can use. This also has an active alarm screen. So we can hit this button and it's going to bring us up what our active alarm is. So see that our part chute is empty. We can reset that, which deactivates that alarm. And you can see that our flashing alarm has stopped. The next feature we're going to look at is the force outputs From the main menu, press Force Outputs, and it's going to show you your force output screen. So this screen has your forces, and then it has the functions of the system. So with the system in a safe position, we can actually enable forces from this screen, and each one of these buttons will physically manipulate the function. We can use this when troubleshooting the system. From the main menu, we're going to look at one last item, the input status button. So we're going to press the input status button, and it's going to bring up the input status screen. The input status screen gives us a lot of information on our inputs as whether they are on or off. So for instance, our e-stop or emergency stop button is in the off position, so the light is not on, where our interlock is activated, so the light is on. So for example, if I were to press my emergency stop button, the light turns on and the interlock turns off. So then I can reset my emergency stop button, press my control power button, my interlock re-energizes and turns on, and my emergency stop button is back in the off position. So we can look at this screen anytime that the system isn't working properly and help determine what's going on.